What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Saturday. It's a beautiful day here in Dallas. Hope you all are well. Hope you're all safe. It's a crazy day today. Sure you already heard. Unfortunately, the U.S. has gone to war. However, that's not going to slow us down. What we're trying to do, what we're trying to do is help all of you, help anybody that is looking for help in achieving real change, in achieving real transformation, leveling up, transforming your life, your mind, and your body. That's all we do here. That's all we do. Positivity, motivation, and real life tactics on how to make it happen. Because I can tell you that if I was able to do it, anybody can do it. If I can show you somehow who I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and see who I am now, you wouldn't believe it. So let's get this show started, guys. Real quick about me, my name is Mario. I created this channel Rise Above to help anybody and everybody who's looking for real change through holistic methods. No fluff, no drugs, none of that stuff is required. Just your will, your determination, and understanding that you need to take control of that thing that's between your ears, which is your brain. That's all. You do that, you have a whole new life, just like that. Now, the first step in transformation, as I always say, is awareness. Awareness of what? Awareness that you no longer want to be the person you've been up until this point. You don't want to walk in these shoes anymore. You don't want to keep waking up to the same problems, waking up with the same headaches, staying on this hamster wheel that is your life. So, always, always, as I always say, the first step in transformation is going to be awareness. Now, what precedes that is your reason for changing. What is it that you're so sick of? What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you're tired of not being able to give to yourself or to your family, that you're just done sitting around either making excuses or pointing the finger? It's time to start pointing the finger back at yourself and saying, I am responsible now for everything that happens in my life, good or bad. Nobody gets that power from me anymore. You need to have that mindset now, moving forward and forever. You start operating like that, you've already moved yourself into a whole new class, a whole new category that most people aren't willing to operate at. So if you can say you're done being who you used to be, you're done blaming other people for the life you don't have, and you're now going to finally be willing to do the things that are going to achieve the change that you've been desiring for so long, it will be mind blowing how quickly things will change for you. Now, Whatever it is you want to change, whether it's your body, your living situation, where you work, what your bank account looks like, whatever it is, there's a good chance you're going to know better than anybody else what the changes required are that you need to take in order for these things to happen. Hello, what name do we got here? Sorry. Hello, Ivan. So once you're willing to finally take on the responsibilities of doing the things that you know you've been putting off or that you haven't done or haven't started, the next thing you have to realize is there's going to be pain. Pain is not only unavoidable, it is going to be required for your transformation. See, this is where most people give up. They're so used to having a comfortable life, even if it's a crappy one, that they'd rather run back to that than continue enduring this so called pain that they're now experiencing from either working out or putting themselves in environments where they feel embarrassed or they're no longer the smartest person in the room, whatever the case may be. But you have to understand that if you're feeling pain, then that means that you're on the right path. That means that you're in the right direction and that the universe is testing you at this point to see how bad you actually want to do this thing that you say you want to do. Because the way our body was built was to protect us. The way it protects us is it's going to continue to have us stay doing the same things we've been doing up until this point because that's what's comfortable to us. Once you start making goals for yourself and actually trying to obtain them, you're going to run into all sorts of obstacles, whether they're external or internal, meaning whether the thing you want to do is harder than you thought it was going to be, or your mind begins playing tricks on you and starts telling you that you can't do it. Whatever it is, that's the sign that you're on the right path. But you have to be willing to break through that friction, break through that barrier in order to get to the other side. There's a saying that I'm sure most of you have heard before: pressure bursts pipes, but pressure also creates diamonds. So, what do you want to be? You want to be a bust or you want to be a diamond? I'm sure most of you on here, if not all of you, want to be a diamond. Are you willing to endure the pain that it takes to get there? Well, that's going to bring you back to your first question. Are you tired of being who you were before? Or are you so sick of it that you're willing to do whatever it takes to have this new life that you want, to have this body that you want, to be in the relationships that you want? Now, only you will know where your time, where your energy, where your focus goes throughout the day. Whatever these things have been up until this point have been part of your identity, of who you are, and what's created the life that you have right now. Whether you like it or not, that's just a fact. So, in order to now get this change that you're looking for, you have to understand that everything you do moving forward has to line up with this new version of you, however big or however small it may be. I'll give you an example. I used to be a very messy person. My car was constantly messy. My side of the room was constantly a mess to the point where my wife kind of had gave up and let me be a slob. But this was in the old version of me. Once I changed everything about me, I knew that being messy was not part of who I was anymore because to be successful, you have to be organized. There are the rare few that can live in the chaos, but most of you, most of us, we need to have order in order to continue to live a new life. So, what are the things that you're doing right now that you know you need to take out, that you need to change because they're no longer going to line up with your new identity? Now, that brings us to the next point. Who are you hanging out with? What does your circle look like? Because it's almost a proven fact that your environment, the five people that you spend the most time with, will impact directly what your life looks like. Jim Rome used to have a very good saying, which he said, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your bank account." So, what can you do to change your environment? I moved, me and my family, from Los Angeles to Texas 4 years ago. I created this change, I got sober 6 months before moving because I knew at that point that we were leaving, and I knew that I couldn't bring this old version of myself here. It would be pointless for me to have us make this move all the way here, say goodbye to all our friends and family, just to come here with the same problems. That doesn't mean you need to leave the state you're in, but there's a good chance there's certain places that you might spend a lot of time at that you're gonna have to change now. I used to be a big barfly. For those of you that don't know what a barfly is, I would basically just spend all my free time prior to my kids being born hanging out at bars. I was I was literally born from an environment of people that hung out at bars, and that manifested into my adult life to where I couldn't be at home by myself. I needed to be in a place where everybody was drinking, where everybody was loud, and I didn't have to think about my problems. So figure out what you can do to change your environment. You might not have to physically change it. The beautiful thing is we do have this thing now called the internet. And on the internet, there's groups, there's courses, there's memberships, there's coaches, there's people, things that you can do within your means, meaning don't go out and put yourself in a bad financial situation if you know you're not in the place to do it. But look for places, look for groups where you can find people that are on the same path as you. They might be farther along, but they can definitely help you and support you and understand the things you're going to go through. It's going to hurt, but you're going to have to let go of people. You're going to have to let go of relationships. You might have to let go of jobs. I've been at jobs where the environment itself was so toxic that the only way out I could see to numb myself from it at the end of the day was to drink to no end. This sounds like your life. It's time to start looking for a new job. What are you doing with your free time? Can you use that wisely to find a new place where you'll spend most of your time and you can create income, perhaps a better income, and to where all your life can start snowballing into something beautiful, something better, a complete transformation? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Because if you say tomorrow, tomorrow is going to be today. Today is just yesterday's tomorrow. Nothing changes if you don't change. You have to understand that. Only you have the power to change your circumstances, to change your life, and to change the trajectory of where you're going to be in 10 years. Because you better believe that 10 years is going to come whether you like it or not, whether you make the change or not. The question is, where are you going to be in 10 years? Are you going to be in the same place that you are now? Or are you going to start today to start making even the smallest changes? You see, when a boat is out at sea and it needs to change its route, it's not going to do a full 90-degree change in a quick instant. It's got to make a gradual shift in its course to get to where it needs to get now. So little changes are also important. Transformation does not mean one big change. Transformation means making all the little changes throughout the day that then compound and turn into a new life. That gives you clarity, that then shows you what is the next thing you need to change, what is the next thing you need to take on. This is where you start to build your self-esteem up. If you lived a life where you're constantly been talked down to, grew up in a family where you were the black sheep, where they considered you the dumb one, the troublemaker. Again, I've been there. If I'm being honest, anybody that was close to me, my teenage years, probably didn't think I'd make it past 21. The life I was living then, I was destined to either jail, to get killed, or to be on the streets. Now, the only thing that saved me in my 20s was I always had a strong work ethic that I credited my mom to. My mom never allowed herself to be somebody that would be asking for handouts. She she burned that into my brain. Never be the weakest person in the room that other people have to take care of. So now my mentality is, how many people can I take care of? I no longer have to worry about not asking for help. That's no longer the question for me. The question now is, how can I get to a place where I can help as many people as possible? There's times where I don't have but a few dollars in my bank account. But if I see somebody that's hungry, that's standing outside somewhere, they're going to get something. Because I know those little things, those are all just character building blocks. So many people pray and cry and want so much, but yet with the little they have, they don't take care of it. So until you can show whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, creator, that you can finally be responsible for your life. You can finally be responsible for the things you have. The blessings will come. They might not come right away, but they'll come from the most unlikely places. They'll come when you least expect it, but they'll only come when you're operating at a level of intensity, at a frequency that these things have to come to you. I hope you guys hear this because everything is changing fast. AI is coming in and taking over, and no one sees it. Everyone is sleeping on it. And even though there's nothing we can do to stop it, we can at least work on improving ourselves and becoming leaders, leaders in our life, leaders in our families, leaders at our jobs. So when people start getting replaced, you won't be one of the first ones to go. That you're so valuable that even AI is going to need you to stick around and not the other way. Understand that there are people pulling the strings to everything. And if you choose to live like everyone else, scrolling all day, watching TV all day, believing what all the big media channels tell you, believing what everybody at work is telling you because that's what they're watching, and when it's time to get those strings cut, you'll fall like everyone else. I don't want that for anyone. But the truth is, that's going to be a lot of people in the next few years. So figure out what you like, figure out talents, where you have a passion for, and try to picture where that's going to be in 5 years in terms of AI, in terms of artificial intelligence, and see how you can line yourself up now to learn the skills that you'll think you'll need in order to be someone that's at the front of this instead of somebody that's left behind. I love you guys. Stay safe.